No, there are some of these entities are described.
What the fuck?
The fucking demons, bro! Holy shit!
Oh god!
Welcome back to another episode of The Instance today. I'm here today with Toothe, Sky. Oh my god, I totally forgot your name, Nikki. Nikki, Odin.
Let's go! Unforgettable! Let's go! Wipe your fucking memories!
She's
Oh my
nervous.
God, that's crazy.
She's
Internal
nervous.
Post-processing. Oh, much better. Oh, much better. Sorry, keep on going, honey.
Well, that's the episode,
So-
guys. We'll see you next time.
Sorry, my brain decided to surge.
Sorry,
Anyways,
who are you?
so when this episode comes out, it's gonna be like midway through December, and I know we touched on some topics about like Christmas and holiday stuff and like different, what was it,
Holiday traditions.
traditions that we did. So when we're recording this right now, it'll be like Thanksgiving. It's like Thanksgiving week. Ski, you're going down to see Toothe and celebrate that with him. Mason's with me, or Colors is with me, and to
Mashallah.
celebrate it with my
Mashallah.
family.
Legal name drop. Yep.
My bad.
It's okay.
But
It's okay.
I
I call
know-
him by his government name every episode.
yeah, it's hard when you live with him and
Yeah.
you don't really call him by his in-game
He goes-
name anymore.
Yeah, he goes, Sonya.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're like, who the hell
Hello?
are you talking about? Who the
Yeah.
fuck is that?
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to talk about the supernatural because we were watching, or I was watching Nightmare Before Christmas, and that kind of got me thinking about, the supernatural and stuff like that, and stuff we used to think of as like a kid, or just like stuff we've experienced. And I thought that would be kind of cool and a little bit different because I don't just want to talk about happy sunshine go lucky. I want to know like the creepy stuff about
Creepy
people.
crawly shit.
Yeah. So
Spooky Steven never
my
dies.
first question, so my first question was, did anybody experience anything supernatural growing up, whether it be like ghosts or like spirits, entities, or
Colors can go first.
Sorta, kinda.
I have the best story ever. I have the best story ever of a supernatural experience. So here's
Oh,
what
let
I'll
me
say.
get my ice cream for
Okay.
this. Hold on.
Yeah, get your ice cream. Does you actually have
Okay.
a bowl of
yeah,
ice
he's
Don't
got a bowl.
actually
He
get
has
your-
I
one.
have a
Don't
cup.
He
I have a
looks
cup
like he has no fucking arms.
I have no
cream?
arms,
The most
but I have ice
supernatural
cream.
thing I've ever seen. It's the most supernatural
actually
thing
get
I've ever seen right in front of me.
No, I
Anyway,
actually do have
anyway.
ice cream.
No,
Don't
that's
eat
funny.
it now,
Anyway,
motherfucker.
So I
Jesus.
do want to start off by saying this. Whether you as an audience member or even a part of the cast here, whether you believe in the supernatural or not, that's completely up to you. But I'm sure what everybody here is about to say is completely eyewitness and experience, personally. I want to say I am a believer of the great Lord Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Dab up Odin, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ is our
not
Lord and
real.
Savior, you know what I'm saying? On
I'm
God.
kidding,
So
I'm
what about
kidding, I'm kidding.
canceled?
I'm kidding. I know.
Why I say that is that I do in fact very much believe that, people do have souls, right? And by science that has been also proven. Odin knows what I'm talking about. When you do pass away, it has been scientifically proven that your consciousness does in fact go somewhere else. So
Include
whether
clip from
you
season
believe,
1.
yeah, whether you I think do we talk about that in season?
Yeah, you literally talked about it because we talked about our
Yeah,
fears, and she said that her fear is death, and you said,
Yeah.
hey, if it makes you feel any better, science.
You do go somewhere. Yeah, science. Yeah, so anyway, right.
That doesn't make me feel better at all. But
She goes, I'm still dying.
But
It's okay,
regardless,
continue.
Yeah, thank you. And anyway, regardless, I do believe that when you die, there's a possibility you may get stuck here, right? Your energy doesn't move, right? And you stay here. And so growing up my entire life, I have had experiences, where I've heard voices. I remember when I was like 7 years old and I'd be sleeping in my room alone. And I'd be in the middle just sleeping like this, chilling in my bed as a little 7-year-old, my Thomas the Tank Engine bed, bro, just chilling. And all of a
slept like a
sudden,
vampire?
I was about to say.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No wonder
But
you're
I mean,
sleeping like a dead person.
Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. This is me sleeping. No, but I literally I can tell you from memory, clear as day. It'd be 7, 8, maybe 9 o'clock at night. Who knows? Maybe I even wake up from it, and I would hear crystal clear voices. I'd be sitting in my bed and I'd hear some male voice call out some random name, or I'd hear a female voice call out some random name. It was always names, or it was sometimes I'd hear not even a sentence, but a couple words. I'd hear a phrase hey, how are you? Or just an example. That's not actually what I heard, but I heard stuff just small bits, very, very small bits of tangible pieces of conversations. And so growing up, I've always experienced these paranormal things. When I was younger, I'm 26 now. When I was probably about, I'd say probably 12 or 13, and it's very classic. This is super classic. I was about 12 or 13 years old, and it was, of course, 3 a.m. in the morning. I was waking up to go to the bathroom, and in my old house, my house is from 1902, the house that I lived in. It was very old, and it was located in Florida. And the city that I grew up in was specifically a plantation city, so you know where this goes. So the house I lived in was extremely old. It used to be a farmhouse before the entire area turned into neighborhoods, but it's been standing since then. And so 3 a.m., wake up, go to the bathroom. The way that the house was set up, my bedroom actually used to be the kitchen before they converted the house and added an extra room to the back where the new kitchen is, and there's another secondary living room in the back. So the room that I literally had the smokestack in it. You know what I'm talking about? How they used to have those old smoke, those old, they didn't have gas stoves, they had actual brick firewood stoves. The chimney of the house was in my bedroom. It was cut off and sealed off, but you could tell that used to be a chimney. So my room used to be the kitchen. The original bathroom was always where it was. So across the hallway, directly across from my door, goes door, is the original bathroom with its original metal-ass motherfucking cliff foot bathtub. Those big old standing bathtubs. Yeah, it had one of those in it. This is an old house, and a lot of the stuff in it was still original. Fucking gators. And so I'm waking up 3 a.m., old-ass house, and I know my house. I've lived there for many years, so I can basically walk through it in the dark without needing to turn on any lights. So the concept is I open my bedroom door and I walk right across the hallway. Don't turn on the hallway lights, and I don't turn on the bedroom lights. I open the bathroom door, and of course, directly in front of the bathroom door is the bathroom mirror. You're looking right at it, and from the mirror you can see my bedroom. So the concept here goes is that as I open up the bathroom door and I flick on the light, in the fucking mirror right behind me in my bedroom fucking doorway, I see this white ass figure go right out of the door. And this bitch was up in the door. It was up. It was basically you got the doorway right here, and this motherfucker was
oh,
and just
hell
through,
no.
as a 13-year-old, I did not sleep in that bedroom for an entire year. And after that, granted, that was the only paranormal thing I actually experienced in that house, other than like the typical like that you could chalk up to the house being old, right? Like, oh, the floors creak and you could hear footsteps sometimes, or
The house is settling.
you hear, the house is settling.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the wind, draft, whatever. But that was the creepiest and most paradoxing thing I've ever seen in that house. I did not sleep in that
That's a good word.
bedroom for an entire year until I was old enough to like be like, okay, I think I've come to realization with what happened, and I'm ready to move on. And even then, after that, nothing ever happened. I did always feel very weird though in the house by myself. I always tried to make sure that I had a TV on, so that if I did hear anything, I could just say it was the TV. You know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I heard a voice. Oh, it's
Damn.
just the TV. It's
Ignorance-
whatever. The TV's on. in the living
Ignorance
room.
is bliss.
But yeah, that's my experience. Who wants to go next? This shit was fucking. this
I
shit was
would like to
Burn the
go
whole house
next.
down. Next.
Wait, hold on, Nikki,
Okay.
before you go. I do want to say, though, that humans kind of have, like, a natural, what's the word? Instinct to sense when there's something there that is, like, not seen to the naked eye. Like, our hair stands up, and you just get this sense of, like, someone watching you. It's because it's an instinct. That's what we've learned, like, way back when. And that's obviously something we don't do a lot now, but it's definitely still there, and that's why we feel that way when, like, obviously we feel like someone's watching
Like,
us.
you
and-
can tell
It's
someone's
like-
watching you.
Yeah, it's like when you see a cat, like a cat or a dog staring into a corner because they can see things
Right.
that we can't because they see in a whole
Yeah.
different spectrum. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'll just avoid that corner then.
yeah, you're just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
We
Also, a
don't
lot
go
of
to that
animals-
corner.
Yeah, a lot of animals are also far more in tune. Like, of course, we're a little bit in tune. Obviously, like she said, we're a little bit in tune because again, our whole body operates off of electricity, and all of this is
Yeah.
electricity. The our minds, our synapses, the consciousness. It's all electricity. So animals are definitely they're more in tune with the magnetic. This all sounds like conspiracy bullshit, but this is just science. The animals like dogs, cats, birds, they're more in tune with the environment. They're more in tune with the magnetical atmosphere of the earth to be able to tell when seasons change. That's why birds migrate. That's why cats and dogs will run from storms because they can feel them before they literally come. You know. So.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
makes
Continue, Nikki.
sense.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was a little kid, I would always sleep in my Thomas the Tank Engine bed like this. No,
On God.
I'm kidding.
On God. On God. On God. Just like this.
Nah,
No,
I got a
um,
Percy bed.
But no,
Yo, I had one of
in
those
all-
car beds.
We love
Ka-ching.
carpets, but no. In all seriousness,
I had a mattress.
I never really had any paranormal experiences as a kid, I guess you could say. Other than like the occasional prank from my older sister, who was like, and I'm pretty sure she still is like heavily fucking into the paranormal. Like she used to watch like all the ghost hunting shows and everything, and then she would like prank me like when I was trying to use the bathroom. But other than that, the only time I can really think of was when I was, I think, either before high school or when I was just starting out high school. It was late at night, and I started like hearing voices in the house. I didn't know where they were coming from, but they definitely weren't any of my two sisters. It was my parents. None of our TVs were on, and it was like maybe 3 in the morning. So I had no idea where any of this shit was coming from. But that's really the only thing I can think of.
That's fucking creepy, bro. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
that. I understand that experience. Yeah.
You want to go?
Next victim.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
So
right.
I kind of have two short ones. One a little bit more creepy and one a lot more uplifting. I've had more than that, but these are kind of the two I've signaled out. I think the first time I've had an actual paranormal experience from my memory, I was in junior high, and I was friends with this guy named John, and he invited me over to his house for the first time. We'd known each other for a few months by then. He's like, "Hey, bro, like, you know, come stay the night. We'll chill out. We'll watch like the Matrix movies, you know." So we're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, 100%. And as we're walking up to his house that Friday after school, he says, "Oh, just one more thing." I'm like, "What's up?"
Oh,
He
no.
says, "I have this
Oh.
entity that follows me
Oh,
around
God.
like a shadow figure," right? I'm like, okay, because at this point, we're like, 13, 13, 14,
Okay.
I'm still kind of
Angsty.
skeptical about it, and, I'm like, okay, I just kind of nodded my head and went along with it because I wasn't sure what to say. I didn't fully believe it at that point. And he's like, just no, it's not gonna harm you. It's never harmed anything. He says it feels more like a protective presence, right? I'm like, okay, right. So I shrug it off at the time, right? It fast forward, it's about 2:30 in the morning. We're like, I forget how far along in the Matrix series we are, but we'd watched quite a bit of it, and we run out of drink. We had like we got a bunch of those little Mio energy pods that let you mix into like water, because we were like trying to stay up the entire night, and I turned to him like, I'm out, you want any more? I'm about to go in the kitchen. He's like, yeah man, sure. So I get up, I grab my cup, I grab his cup, and I turn, and as I turn, it's standing behind the counter. The shadow is standing behind the counter, like looking at us in the living room. I'm like, John. He's like, what? I'm like, look. And he
That
looks,
whole ass
and
bitch is just there?
Yeah, like for like, I don't. It
So
felt
when you
like an
locked eyes
eternity.
with it didn't move.
There
or
was no
anything?
eyes. It was just like, no, it didn't. It was like a shadow
It
figure.
was
It
just
felt like
black,
an
right?
eternity.
It's just Venti black.
It was just
Yeah, it's
black,
like
just a
Venti black,
tall
just- yeah.
black, yeah. And
Darker than
and
dark.
yeah, darker than dark. And he's like, it felt like it was me and him was like, I was staring at it for like 10 seconds. It was probably realistically more like 2 to 3 seconds, because I was like shitting myself, so time felt a little slower.
And it's
Why
al-
does
it's
bitch stay here
always-
so long?
Yeah.
The warning always comes after the words fucking, oh, I forgot to tell you, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
like
no,
the
no, no,
second
but
you
he had
actually
warned
see
me.
it.
Yeah, and so he looks into the kitchen. He catches like the back end like glimpse of it. Like it's like he sees like it disappears, but he catches like you said, it kind of like dashes.
Yeah, it goes.
you know,
right out.
And he's like, yeah, bro, I told you. I'm like, you're calm about that? That just happens to you and you're calm about that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, bro, how about you go make the energy drinks then? Because I ain't going
I'm gonna
back.
sit my ass right here in front of the TV.
Yeah, right. But no, that was probably the first. That was probably like the first like really memorable experience with the paranormal that I have.
Damn.
But I do believe
Did
it 'cause
you
I,
feel like anything from that?
I was
Did you
gonna
feel
say,
like
yeah.
it
Yeah.
kind
I
of
didn't-
being
I
like
didn't-
calm? Did you feel it being like kind of aggressive? Like, did you
it
feel,
wasn't
or were you
aggressive.
just like,
I didn't feel in danger. He was right. It did feel just like observatory, like just making sure everything's all right. It was almost calming once I thought about it. Once I thought about like actually what the presence was like felt in the moment, it was more like, okay, nah, he just kind of chill, you know.
he's
Um,
like, sup, bro?
chill.
How
Yo,
you
what's
doing?
up, bro?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
So,
Hi.
yo, just your friendly neighborhood, your
Yeah.
friendly neighborhood
Yeah.
sleep paralysis demon, bro. I'm just out here protecting you, dude. You know what I'm saying? Oh God.
No, yeah,
I
no,
had-
Checking
It's
up,
like if
what's up, what's
Slender
up?
Man were chill with the boys.
yeah, no, but obviously in the moment I like froze. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I have
We
had
all would
heard from
probably.
some people. I've heard from some people that if it's like your first time seeing it, like the initial like reaction with it is like you feel heavy, even if it's like a
It was.
like a positive.
It was
or,
heavy.
Or
I
like a
felt very
protective, but
very
like
tired.
that millisecond, people have told me that like who've seen the shit I've heard and I've people have said it. They're like, dude, the initial like reaction, your body just feels like. Like
Yeah,
you're
I
just
was very
sinking.
tired after the fact.
Bro,
Like, and I
bro.
know it was like 2:30 in the morning, but I was still very tired after the fact. Like, I
Bro.
felt drained.
The fucking shadow figure pulled up and said, "Alpha Sigma Sigma."
Yeah.
fucking fraternity.
Yeah.
Alpha Sigma fraternity.
He
bro.
said, I
Come
wanted
never
some
know.
of that energy drink too.
Yeah, he
Where
went.
my Mio at?
You
No,
remind
he
me
came
of
into
that.
the fucking function like, bro, you guys are watching Keanu without me? Come on.
That's my favorite movie. He's like, dude, he's like, I haunt Keanu Reeves on a regular, bro. Me and him are homies, bro.
I don't know about homies.
Maybe.
Bro,
No,
Keanu,
man.
Lawrence Fishburne? Come on, you guys didn't send me the invite? Come on.
Bruh.
But yeah, no, and then moving on to the next one on a little bit more of an uplifting note, because obviously not all of this stuff is negative. Most of it actually isn't. But you know, like Color said, you know, I think I've said it in previous episodes, like I'm Catholic, you know. You know, so I 100% believe,
Really?
you know, the spiritual realm is there, and all that, and this is very close and personal, but I don't mind sharing it. Recently my grandparents passed away. First it was my grandmother, and then it was my grandfather some months later. They were around 90 years old. And for my grandmother, when she passed, you know, we were all most of the family was there. We were all lucky enough to be able to be with her in her final moments. You know, when everyone had gone home, it was like way or like 4 in the morning or something like that. Some people stayed behind with my grandfather because he was absolutely, like, their marriage was like they were married like 58 years or 58, 62 years, something like that.
Yeah.
He was, yeah, he didn't, you know, he wasn't taking it very well. I don't think anyone would. But I, you know, went home, you know, went to my room and instantly just hit my knees and started praying, you know. Just talking with God, and, you know, telling him, hey, you know, I know that she's up there with you, and, you know, everything's all good. And in the moment, as I'm talking about my grandmother, you know, and I'm having a rough time at this point too, I feel a very gentle hand like rest on my shoulder, on the back of my left shoulder, like someone walked up behind me and just put their hand on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And it was familiar. It was her. It was grandma. It was familiar, and it was so real feeling. I you know, unclasped one of my hands and went and grabbed my shoulder like this, you know, and I could still feel it, you know. So, you know, stuff like that's one thing. And then another, me and my grandfather, after he had passed, because me and him are always big on like nature. He's the one that primarily gave me most of my appreciation for stuff like fishing and respecting nature. And, you know, like there was some years where we lived with them, and you know, him and he had a huge backyard with a big garden, multiple fruit trees, tomato plants, vegetable plants, whatever, and I would go out and work on that with him. It's happened a few times now where it's like I'll be outside, I'll be doing something, and just like, or I'll be having a hard time or having a hard day, and I'm going on a walk, and it's just like the entire time I'm having that walk, there's just mourning doves just everywhere, and every time I pass one, they make that call, that sound, you know. And it's almost like it felt comforting, like it was Grandpa watching me and telling me, hey, I'm still here, I see you, you're good, you know. So yeah, you know, just stuff like that, you know. Signs as well fall into paranormal stuff, but like this very good uplifting feeling you can get from this stuff as well, because like to me it's real. I know to you it's real as well. So
On God.
you know, it's always
Shit was
nice
scary
just
as fuck.
well, the first one was scary, you know. Obviously my grandparents, it wasn't scary at all. It was very comforting and you know, warm and wholesome. So it's very loving.
Right.
Big ups. I love your
Big
grandparents.
ups, so
They turned
bad.
you into a good dude. This is why you're my favorite cowboy, on God.
Westerner.
Real dude.
Yee.
I
Westerner,
definitely
let's
do
go.
agree though that, you know, people on the other side tend to give signs and whatever to let you know
Mhm.
that they're still there. My grandma on my dad's side was like super big into like finding pennies and stuff and collecting them. Like that was always her thing. If you see a penny, you know, pick it up, right? You know, as the saying goes. And when she had passed away, I was like my whole family was finding pennies just everywhere, just out of nowhere. And it's not like we, you know, see it on like all the time, but my dad obviously was taking it hard because that's his mom. I remember he went to work the next day and he opened his squad car and there was just a penny on his seat. And I just remember him like talking to my mom saying that he was like crying and whatnot because, you know, obviously like why would there be a fucking penny in the squad car? Like, you know, it's not like, you know, just simple things like that. So it's really nice to hear that, you know, they're still around you, seeing you and grow up and, you know, everything like that.
Yeah, checking in on you.
Yeah, right. What about you, Toothe?
Yeah, give me a scary moment on go right now.
I don't.
Stories?
I've never had any paranormal stories.
Toothe is the
happen.
paranormal activity. You seen this motherfucker in the hallway at night? White as a ghost. Scared the
You
shit out of me.
you
No,
live with her?
He meant Casper at Publix.
You live with her? You will. Trust me.
Okay, now before she starts.
Oh yeah, she got
because
demons.
I
She
know
got
that's
demons
gonna
around
take
her.
an hour. Yeah, I've heard it all.
She gave me something for a little while. Let's just say that.
She's
But
got demons.
Oh, man.
go ahead, Ski.
Hello.
The very
What
idea
disease did you
of,
give
like,
her?
paranormal, like, scares me. I don't ever want to experience that. I would piss
Well,
myself.
you're dating me, so
Well,
be
okay.
prepared.
But do you believe in the
And-
paranormal at all? What
Wait,
what is
well,
your thoughts about it?
Let me say, religiously, because I feel like religion sort of plays into it just a little bit. I would say I'm agnostic, which is, I don't know if everyone knows what that means, but
can't prove or
it's
can't
not
prove
exactly.
that one.
It's not exactly like I'm
You believe that
You
there's
do,
God isn't
something.
real.
You believe
Yeah.
that
I'm saying
you believe there's something.
it is totally possible that there's something out there, but I personally don't see any proof of it. But there's also, like, you know, like, our world came from something, right? And I kind of gotta I think something's out there. I just don't know, and I never
You
will
just
know.
don't know yet, bro.
Is what
Toothe, we're in the
agnostic
same
means.
boat. It's okay.
I mean, one day
Yeah.
you're gonna find out when your whole soul leave your fucking body.
So
You're gonna
right now,
be up there floating.
I can't
Just
say
fight
I
Cthulhu.
believe in spirits because I've never had an experience with them. But not to say I don't believe in spirits, because I hear a lot of stories from a lot of friends, from, like, people I don't think are lying, like from all of you.
So
even
you're
from, like, my
you're
real-life
open to the
friends.
idea of it, you
Yeah, and it scares me.
He's a
because I don't like
skeptic.
it.
know.
Yeah, he
he's a
ran into
skeptic.
Casper at Publix.
Oh, you mean a mirror? He was looking at a mirror. He was looking at himself. That's what that was.
Probably.
I don't think there'd be a
That's
random mirror at Publix
crazy.
other than the bathroom.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. I'm
Anyway,
so
Sky,
sorry
go
that I'm
ahead.
picking on
Okay,
Toothe.
you
He's
can
just-
start
he's got
now.
He's got the whitest
Just look-
skin.
Just be ready to live with me.
I hope you don't,
Go ahead,
I
Ski.
hope
Go
you don't
ahead.
expect to get to any other prompts, because this one's gonna take a whole hour.
No, it's not.
Quick, bullet time. Quick, right now.
Okay. Well, hello. So, a little fact about me: myself and my cousin are quite in tuned with some stuff, like paranormal wise and like anything past. I'm kind of like how he was. Like, I'm not religious, but I know that with what I've seen, experienced, I know that there is a person above or something
Shoot,
above.
maybe you should be if after what you see. Maybe
No,
you
no,
fucking should
honestly,
be.
I probably should be getting into it, not gonna lie.
Well, we can find a good church, man. We can go all three of us.
The amount of stories her and I
This
have
girl's-
together
yeah.
is disgusting.
The fact that,
Keep
like,
going.
the second she met me, shit started going down. Like,
Yeah.
No, I had some
but-
stuff way before I knew
yeah,
you, but that's a whole
yeah,
different story.
so-
I'll tell after.
But so I've always known that there has I don't want to be in tune with it, but there are some times where, like, you just can't fucking help it. Like, you just it's just you're born with it. It's you are accustomed to it. You start it when you're younger and you grow with it. But I have had something, I hope, it is not still with me now, but I have had something following me quite literally probably my entire life since I could like fucking remember my last conscious like memory when I was a kid. And every single time I would mention this thing, I don't even like to call it a person and him, her, whatever, because it doesn't feel like a person, but it also doesn't feel as if like it is like
Natural forces.
intimidating. Yeah, like I don't know how to explain it, but at
Like, it
first
just
I
feels like
thought
a
it wasn't
creature or something, right?
it's something. I don't know what it is. But at first I didn't think it was gonna be harmful or anything. But whenever I started leaning away towards that, like I start to think that whenever I do mention it, it is harmful, because every time I do mention it, my Wi-Fi, my whole like first time I mentioned it few years ago, I was literally talking about it with someone, I forgot who it was, and my whole internet, or not my power went out, but only selectively in my room. That was it, in my room only. Power went out.
Went down.
That is it. Yeah, and then the second time, or another time, I was talking about it, and I was literally talking. Her and I were having a lunch date at a fucking sushi place. I talked about it.
Yes,
were
I
both-
remember this.
We were both driving. We were like, okay, now it's time to go home. We're both driving the same way.
No.
and then-
You're missing a part. You're missing a
Oh,
crucial
I know,
part
I
of
know,
that.
I know, no, I know that. I'm talking about that part. That one where you're thinking of was something completely different, because when I was talking about it, the second that you and I were leaving, we were both going the same way, and then the second that like we separated parts because we both went separate ways. Yeah, hold on. I know what
No.
you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Trust me.
No,
You're
it was
talking
the
about
same
person
day.
yes, it was. You were talking about the person that said hello to me.
No,
and I saw
that's
a
not what I'm
face.
talking about.
Then what the fuck are you talking about? Are you talking about my tire popping?
Oh. I thought that's what you were talking about.
There's two different scenarios.
What?
Those were two different things. That's what I'm saying.
But that happened before the tire.
Yes, I know, but I'm talking about the entity, the thing that is following me caused my tire exploding.
Right,
thing
but
that I
explain the
saw-
story.
Okay,
Mhm.
so we were at a lunch date. We were in a sushi place. All of a sudden, we're talking about like things that we're seeing. The reason why that conversation got brought up, because I saw, so like the entrance of a place is like, let's say this is the door. You enter, and then right next to the door, there's like a few bookshelves of like different
Yeah.
Like
figurines and stuff like this
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like in squares, right? And so you got to go there, and you got to go around the bookshelf, and that's where all the seating is. So we're in a booth by the window, and I'm sitting facing the exit door where that bookshelf is, and we're just talking, just normally talking, and then I paused because I heard a very clear hello, like just fucking creepy. But I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was a kid. So like I generally thought it was a child, but then like as soon as I heard it, I saw a face in one of the bookshelves in like the square area, and I saw, it was
it's like a
very
cubby.
clear.
It's a cubby
It-
bookshelf.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
that.
it
Got
was it was very clear, a very clear face. It had dark hair. It was quite pale / not too pale, like tooth pale, but pale enough.
Yeah.
And
He said,
sorry.
"What the fuck did I do?"
sorry. That's the best way I can explain it. It's like a mixture in between cloud and tooth, right? Okay. So
Damn.
and so
Double
like and then
homicide.
and then obviously a mouth and shit like that, but that's a general like
It was just a
features,
face,
but that
though.
was it. Yeah, but the cubbies at the bottom were empty, and it was just the face. There was no body, there was no hands, there was no shoulders. It was just the fucking face in that one cubby. That was it.
Yeah,
And
she-
I heard it and saw it, and I completely
her
looked at
head
her.
turned. Yeah, she literally was like mid-sentence to me. She turned her head, and then she turned back and didn't say a fucking word. I said, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
She's like, "We'll talk about it later." I was like, "No, what's up?" And this is when we were talking about like supernatural stuff, and she was like, kind of like brought me closer, and she was like, "I saw something," and I was like, "What did you see?" And what she just explained is what she told me, and I looked over. I didn't see anything, but I can tell like usually when something's gonna happen or like something bad's gonna happen, you know. It's just like something I'm pretty in tune with, of like I may not be super into it. Like, I don't see stuff exactly like that, not all the time like her, but I definitely see things sometimes, and I definitely know when bad things are happening and like when there's a really bad presence. When we were leaving after our sushi date, I got in my car and I was gonna call her and say, I think something's bad gonna happen to you, like after this whole thing. Like I was gonna text you, but I didn't, because I didn't want to make it true, but I fucking knew something was gonna happen, and I should have fucking called you, because I was like, I once I leave like this parking lot, I know something's gonna happen to her, but like if I say it, I don't want to make it true, you know. But continue with the story.
So me explaining to her what I saw, it like kind of triggered the conversation of like us believing in supernatural, like the things that she believes in and things that I experience and I see, and I told her about the entity. That was the one and only time that I have ever told her that something has followed me. I have told her about times that like things I've experienced in my room, but I've never told her that it's the same thing. Like, I've never told her that. That was the first time that I ever actually told her that. I'm like, all those times that I'm telling you that I'm experiencing something in my room or in my house, it is the same entity and the same thing. The only reason why I know is because it's always the same feeling. It's identical every single time something happens. And so like, I was talking about it, and literally our lunch date is over, we're leaving, and we're both going the same way. We go our separate ways. Less than 5 minutes later, my car is, I just want to let y'all know, my car is basically brand new. It is like, I got it when it was 17,000 miles only. It's brand new. Everything's updated. Brakes are bought. New tires were bought. Like, it was checked up. All of a sudden, less than 5 minutes of us separating, my tire explodes. It fucking explodes, and I'm stuck in the side of the road.
That's fucking.
And yeah, I was at the gas station. And I got a call, like literally like a few minutes later, and she was like, dude, my fucking tire popped. And I was like, I fucking knew something was gonna happen. I fucking knew it.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, I swear to God, I was gonna fucking call you and tell you something bad was gonna happen, but you know.
Yeah, so that was one of the times. Another one of the times is that when I mentioned like my cousin and I are quite in tuned. Like, him and I, excuse me, pardon me, my bad. So so my cousin is also quite in tuned. When he was younger, this correlates to a lot of stories, but when he was younger, his mom, so my aunt and him lived in a apartment building, right? And it was just like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, right? It was a little small apartment building. And one night, he like sees an old man at his front door of like his bedroom, just standing there. Doesn't say anything, it's just standing there. And then all of a sudden the next morning, he goes, Mom, there's an old man at the door. And then she was like, maybe just an imaginary friend. I'm just gonna go with it. And then like the next day, same thing happened. He mentioned it again. And that following afternoon, literally paramedics they're leaving to go grocery shopping or something. And they're leaving their apartment building, and they're like locking up my aunt is locking up the door, right? And as they're leaving, they see paramedics, and they see a gurney being pulled out. And it was the guy, he was in a bag, but like my cousin saw him as they were like zipping it up, because he could see through the door as zipping up the body. And it was my cousin, being a child. He was like an infant. He was not an infant, but he was like a toddler. He goes, Mommy, that's the old man. And my aunt freaked the fuck out. Was like, so she thinks that it was the old man reaching out to a kid, because so kids haven't, like, if you're a toddler, you technically haven't committed sin yet, because you don't have the knowledge of, and like, you don't genuinely know what sin is yet.
Right or wrong, yeah.
So
you're right or
you're
wrong,
more
yeah.
open, and like your third eye and stuff like that.
The moral,
So
yeah, I was gonna say kids tend to be a little bit more in tune with that sort of thing, because they're generally more
or
Innocence.
what do you
Innocence.
call it?
Right.
Yeah, they're innocent.
So
yeah.
and so my
I
aunt
agree
was
with
like,
that.
she's starting to realize, she's like, maybe that old man went to my son because was trying to get someone to help him to find him, because apparently
Yeah.
he died in that apartment alone. So he was alone. I don't know if he was married before or something, but like he just died there alone, and that was
Yeah.
it. And so whenever my cousin and I, dude, if you think being with me alone is fucking creepy, never be in a room at night with my cousin and I. That shit is like 10
It's
times
double,
worse.
2 times.
Yeah, it's 2 times. Times 2, bruh. No, it's like every... What's up?
I wanted to ask you a question before you really dig in and it goes even further into your story here. I wanted to ask, because you guys have been living together up until recently for a whole year. Please, has anything happened in your house since
Yes.
she stayed?
Yeah,
I
I've
Not
heard
when she
kids all
stayed,
the
but when she
time.
was. Not when she stayed, but when she was just about to move in. So during that dinner, I was having a very serious talk with her about, she was saying this entity was following her and stuff like that, and I was like, you need to tell it and be very stern with it. Like, you cannot follow me, you cannot do these bad things to me. Like, you need to be like, you need to set boundaries, and this thing needs to leave you alone. Now,
Gators.
I think after the last couple times that she has done it, I think it has worked, because I don't think that thing is with you anymore, right? Or am I
No,
wrong?
the thing is still here, but it definitely knows boundaries. Like, it definitely, like, I've stated
Because I thought
that
you
my
said it
boundaries
left
and
you
stuff.
alone for a little while.
It
'cause
did
I
leave
thought
me
that's what you
alone,
said.
but it's still there. I've had a talk with mom before. I call her mom my mom. Just to clarify. So I've talked with mom before, being like, have been a few nights where I see like this corner behind the door. No matter what light I put, that corner is always dark. No matter where I put the light, it's just dark. There is no light that can emit in that corner. And so like I have the, again, it's the same fucking feeling. My room is
That's some
not that
creepy
big.
shit.
My room is
No,
not
it's really
that
tiny.
big. It's quite
It's like
small.
10 feet by 10
so
feet. It's pretty
if
small.
I light a candle, it lights up the entire room except that corner. And so like it's starting to leaves me alone. It hasn't done anything bad yet.
But that's because I
Yeah,
told you
so-
you need to set the boundaries and whatnot.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
hasn't
sorry to
done anything.
interject. What if you put a light like in the corner, like you put it like a lamp in that corner?
It's behind a
turn it
door.
on.
Because
Can't really
so
do
Oh, it's behind a
the
door?
bedroom she's talking
Yeah.
about. So it's like, okay, so her bedroom is right facing, and what I mean by right facing is the door is right here, and then the whole bedroom opens up this way. Her bedroom,
The
the
door's in the
closet,
corner.
the closet wasn't built. The closet wasn't built into the wall. The closet's built into the bedroom, so her doorway has a little nook because the wall of the closet sticks out into the room. So when you open the door, you
Right.
open the door this way, and it goes against that. Like the door perfectly fits in that little nook area.
Gotcha.
And that's what she's talking
Uh-huh.
about. So she literally can't put a light there. I mean, she could. She'd just have to like finagle.
Yeah,
But-
if you
but
like,
the
if you
shelves
like,
already
if
I
you,
mean,
like,
you could put a
ran-
little lamp near
Right. That's what I
There's
mean. Like
already
if you like got
shelves
like a
there.
little lamp and you like it had like a
Like on
long
the
enough wire, or you ran an extension cord and you put it on the floor in that corner,
Damn gators.
would it light up? Do you think? Like, would it still light up, or do you think it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably.
Of course it would. I mean, it emits light, but
Yeah.
I think what she's saying is like the light around it and everything might not
Yeah.
illuminate.
Yeah, I've got a light
So from
here,
the
a
outside,
light
it is
here,
everywhere else.
and I had a light there. And I've had light again, the room is small. I have fucking 2 to 3 lights in here. And how the fuck does everything else light up? Except that. Like so but I did start noticing that I was talking to mom one day and I heard a kid say, "Let's play." And I thought it was like the neighbors' kids. I thought they had kids. Apparently they don't have kids. Like children. They have like a teenage boy or something. So, and I told mom, and mom was like, "Oh, maybe they're reaching out to you." And I was like, "I'm good." I straight up told her I'm good. Like I was like, "Nah." Like
Yeah, like reach out to someone else,
But-
please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when that happened, I had the same. When that happened, I had the same reaction to like when that thing appeared. it was the same. So I'm starting to like realize that maybe put together that like the thing is like trying to disguise itself as something that like is less intimidating to see to maybe to pull me in. That's what I'm feeling, and I hate that. I fucking
just
hate
keep
that.
No,
your,
that's
keep
awful.
your,
I keep my
keep your
distance 1000%.
boundaries. Just make sure you always just say you can't follow me, you can't harm me, you can't, just set boundaries.
No, 1000%.
But
You have
back
to
to your
give
question. Back to your
consent to it.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to your question. Before she, sorry, Odin, go ahead.
Oh, I'm lagging. Yeah, no, because that's creepy, because that's non-human.
No, I know.
Because
No, 1000%.
humans,
I've been aware of that.
human spirits can't disguise themselves as something else. So that's normal. If you believe in the paranormal, that kind of behavior is very how to say
It's attachment-y.
very on trend for malicious entities. Yeah, it's an attachment, and
Yeah, which
if it's
people told
disguising
me
itself
that.
as
Honestly,
children,
you should
particularly, that's very
probably,
malicious.
yeah, you should probably get like saged and like
Yeah,
go see
people
like,
say,
somebody.
Yeah,
people say it's an
I was gonna
attachment,
say,
but
yeah,
I'm
get
like,
a-
I have, again, like I've said, I've had this thing follow me since like my first conscious
Yeah.
like memory when I was a kid. So like I
Yeah,
don't even know
but if it's
where I
pulling
could
that
get
now-
an attachment from. Like where? I'm like a child. I stick
just-
with my
It
parents
could
at all
it could just be from anywhere. It could be from
It could be from anywhere.
building you walked into that was haunted, or
I do also
Probably.
want to say it could very much be, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but it could also be very much like the Paranormal Activity storyline, which, by the way, this has happened before. It's not just like some made-up thing where a family member in the past has said, hey, specific demon or entity, if you grant me my wish, you can have my kid's firstborn whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
yeah,
fuck?
I
and
see, I
and
see.
so yeah, that's I know your opinion on religion or whatever, but if it gets worse, you should really talk to a priest
Yeah.
because
You know what's
attachments
funny?
are
My
dangerous.
grandparents are
I'm
very
serious.
religious.
Yeah, that I
They're
agree
also
with
Christian.
too.
My grandparents are Christians. He was a pastor
Mhm.
in a Christian church.
Maybe have you been baptized yet?
And-
have you been baptized yet?
I don't think I have. I don't remember.
We should
I don't
get you
even know.
baptized. That would probably.
I'm not
help.
baptized either.
You should get baptized. It's a really cool.
Non-baptized
experience. It's great.
twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
and-
was
and
going to be
no,
baptized.
like,
My parents just wound up not doing it. They let me choose when I was older. My
I think it's
sister was
better to
older.
choose. Yeah, I would love to get rebaptized because then now I know what it means. I was baptized when I was like 8, but I don't know what the
I don't
fuck
know
that
what
was
that
all
means.
about.
I have my own thoughts about that, but I don't want to get into religious philosophy because
No, I got you. Yeah.
I'll talk to you about it later.
Not
I'll
the
talk to you about it
topic. Not
later.
the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Politics.
We could do it on live. We
That's
could talk to the
not
fans. You know
politics.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. But going back to like getting a priest, if that's something you feel like you need to do, get a Catholic priest. No disrespect towards the Christian
No, the
denominations
Catholic
or
ones are
anything
the
like
best
that,
ones, I'm
but
not gonna lie.
the
I'll give it to
Catholic
you.
Church is the founding church,
Am I
and
Catholic?
they know
Are my
specifically
grandparents
how to
Catholic
deal
or
with
Christian? What's the difference?
how to deal with stuff like this.
So basically
Uh,
the difference. I think Odin might be able to explain a little better than me.
So the Catholic Church is the church that Jesus Christ himself instructed Peter to found. That is the church.
Do they
That is
believe
the
in Mary?
original church.
Yeah.
Do they believe
So
in
Roman
what?
Catholic.
Maria,
Yeah.
or Mary, whatever.
Yeah,
Mary,
Mary.
all of them. Literally all
Holy
of
Mother
them.
Mary.
Yeah.
All of the
The
disciples,
Virgin
Yeah.
Mary,
including,
Oh,
including
okay,
Jesus'
then they're
followers,
Catholic.
yeah.
Then they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catholic.
So
That's the one thing
and
that
then and then like the
Okay.
Christian and then you have like the Great Schism, which caused the Eastern Orthodox Church to be born. That's a whole other thing. But most other Christians that you see in America that aren't Catholic are denominations of either Protestantism or fundamentalists.
Okay.
And
it.
there's they each believe their own different things, or they all
Yeah.
pick and choose. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
but
Like Christian,
if you're
like,
gonna-
I'd
if
like
you're
to
gonna
say,
get-
yeah, I'd like to say like Christianity really diverted from Catholicism when what's his name? He was the monk. who put
Martin
the paper,
Luther.
Yeah, Martin Luther. Thank you, Martin Luther. Back in this is very old. This is like
This is
we're
in the
talking.
1500s.
I mean, the 1500s.
1500s.
They still spoke Latin, right? Like this is still when Latin was still like a language that was used instead of Italian or Spanish, because Italian just popped up. Italian popped up in the 1400s. So we're talking like, this is still raw Latin. Homie Martin Luther put a paper on the wall. He put a paper on the church because back then, so the church was like the definitive, like it was kind of like your court, like your town hall. The church was the center of the city, right? So a lot of newspapers, clippings, anything regarding to the community was put on the church doors. Luther was essentially so upset with the way that the church was becoming corrupted, which was definitely a big issue back then. People were paying for access into heaven. They were, again, stuff that does not get you into heaven. The church was ripping people off and getting them to buy stuff and pay tax and blah blah blah. And Luther basically said, this isn't right. The only thing that will get you into heaven is faith and only faith. And that's essentially right where Christianity as we describe it today started. And Catholicism, it's again, we follow the same route. It's just, Catholics tend to believe in a whole other assortment of things, and Christianity is just faith is faith, and that's it.
Not to cut you guys off. I do want to get back on topic because
sorry.
This is a whole different topic to go on.
Talking about religion's cool.
We can. Different episode. Let's stay on topic.
History lesson.
There you go with the.
All right.
Stupid. Anyways,
what you were saying about.
So what I was saying
I want to hear this,
about a little bit before Ski had finally, moved in and everything. Oh, I just hit my mic again.
So proud.
So it was when I think it was Toothe, Renshi, Ski, me, YOLO, and another person we were with. We were on a bus, in VR chat, Do you guys remember that? Do you remember we were on the bus,
nowhere.
going? What he said, and
the moth attack.
Essentially, with the moth attack,
Okay.
with the fucking bucket. Yeah. So, I just remember sitting in the room, and again, this is a little bit before she was gonna move in with me. So I just remember sitting there, and just all of a sudden, I just was feeling scared, upset, like there was just something in the corner behind my doorway that was just giving me the presence of just malicious, like anger. It wanted to hurt me, and I wasn't okay with it being there. Yeah, and I just remember they were all just sitting there with me, and I just wound up either getting up or I sat there and I said, "Go away! You are not allowed here."
I remember that.
Yeah, I was just
You
you need to
remember you
fucking
saying
leave
that.
now. Yeah, I wasn't talking to any of them. I was simply I think I lifted my headset up a little bit and I looked at that fucking corner and I said, "You need to fucking leave. You cannot be here. You cannot harm me. You cannot harm my family. You are not allowed here. You need to go back to where you're from. Go away." And it stayed there for a good 5 fucking minutes. I was just terrified out of my fucking mind. I looked at Sky and I was like, "Your thing is fucking here and it needs to go." I just remember it.
I remember this happening. I think I was that extra person that you couldn't
You were not
remember.
here.
No,
You were not.
remember this.
No, you were not.
No, you
were
remember the
not.
story,
That was
but you
another
were not there.
person.
You were
trust me.
not there.
This
Trust
was-
me. That was not
Trust
you.
me.
Okay.
When you
Who the fuck
told
was
me
it
that
then?
that thing.
But no, you was the guy who got mad about the bucket that was hidden on me. Anyways,
Yeah, that was the same
but
night he got mad
when
Go
at
ahead.
you
the
told
bucket.
me that, when you told me that, I remember vividly. I didn't say it out loud because to me, for some reason, what works for me best is saying it in my head. If I repeat it and say it in my head, because whenever I say it out loud, for some people it works. If they say it out loud to the thing that is there, it goes away for them. But for me, it doesn't work. It only works when I say it in my head repeatedly in a stern voice in my head. I'm not schizophrenic. It's just it's
no, I was very stern in my tone
debatable.
of voice.
Yeah.
But you need to keep in mind when I first came outside of actual Chicago to the places that I was living now, I didn't live in this house that you and I were living in before. My first house that we moved in to when we moved out here. That house is a whole different story that I'll get to after this. But I had a lot of supernatural and paranormal things happen to me there. And after we moved out of that house, I have not had like a weird feeling. I haven't had like my hair stick up, you know, just like I've been okay, I've been fine. That was the only time I had experienced that feeling again. Like I from like when I was a lot when I when I was a lot younger, that was like the same feeling times 2. Like it was just it wanted to hurt me, and I didn't want that there
it's
anymore.
Intense.
Clearly,
the thing is
intense. And don't get me wrong, you know how long I've been in my room for and stuff, and like how long I lived there. Like I've never had that feeling before in my life. Like in that room, I should say.
You stood up.
I've had that feeling before. Yeah, I did.
She was okay. So she's sitting in her bed like this, and she just completely like stood up and like looked. Like immediately, like she, like you, it's like as it, like she can't see outside of this headset, right? But she immediately like stood up and knew where to look. Immediately.
Hello? Santa? Make-A-Wish? Dr. Phil?
Hey, man. Just wanted to check in on you. How you holding up?
Feels like a planet was dropped on my skull, dude.
Well, maybe this'll help.
Is it medicine? Vodka? It's a Coke?
Nope. It's Dubbies.
Whoa. That is actually really good. What is it?
I'm glad you asked. Dubby's like an energy drink, but smarter. No sugar, no crash, no jitters. Plus, it's loaded with vitamins like C and B12, so it's actually really good for you.
Healthy and tasty? What's the catch?
No catch. And I used code INSTANCE for 10% off, so it didn't break the bank. Yet.
I mean, I could get used to this, but I'm not running marathons anytime soon.
That's okay. When you're up for some Valorant later, this'll have you laser focused. And who knows, maybe you'll even beat me for once.
Wait a minute! Okay, no, never mind. I'm going to sleep.
Better not forget your tub.
What was that?
Nothing. I said I hope you get better.
Thanks, Doc.
Like it's like
she got
didn't even have to
things.
like, yeah. But when you told me that was happening, I started saying it in my head that like, leave her alone. I was like, leave her alone. Like, stop, because it's happened. The thing does not attach itself to other people other than me, but it will like
Go to
let
other
itself be known to other people who are close to me. It's done it to my sister. I don't know if it's done it to my mom, and I don't know if it's done it to my dad, but like it's done it to my sister. My sister has told me about this.
It was a little
never
bit
told
after
my
we had talked about it. After
Yeah,
your
I've
tire
never
popped. That was
told
like
my
it was like
sister
in the
about
in
this thing.
between.
Yeah, I've never told my sister about this thing, but one time she did tell me about something very similar, that she was like, this thing, like I had sleep paralysis. She doesn't have sleep paralysis. She has night terrors, but she like doesn't have sleep paralysis. And she had sleep paralysis, and I was like, motherfucker,
I've only
you
had
better
sleep
leave her the
paralysis
fuck
once. That shit
alone.
was
Because
terrifying.
don't get me wrong, I fight with my sister. We have disagreements. We're both completely different, but that is my baby sister. I'm the older sister. Like, I'm gonna be protective over her. So I was like, leave my fucking sister alone. Leave my little sister fucking alone. Because she was like 12 at the moment, at the time, and I was like, leave her alone. So the fact that I've been conscious of this thing existing in my life for years, more than half of my life, like I know that like it will let itself be known, being like, I am here. Like, you can't do anything about it. Like, that's the energy it gives itself when it's showing itself to someone that is really close to me. Like, it always does.
So
It's very
Every single
intense.
fucking time. It's
So-
it's dark. It's really fucking dark. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
don't
thing
know
is
how to
malicious. I don't.
I don't know how
So
else
should
to
I
explain
bring
it.
So should I get holy water blessed at the church before I come out to visit y'all? Is that what I'm hearing?
No. It's just when you
No.
when you're
Snacks,
like
necklaces.
where she is staying for a long period of time, like
Okay.
her what she would consider her home. I think that's what happens. Like, obviously, when she came to stay at my house, you know, when she would sleep over for like a night or two, I didn't feel anything personally. I'm sure she maybe felt a presence there, but it wasn't anything that I would be too concerned about. It was just when I think you asked me to move in and whatever, or like you were thinking about moving in, and that's when it was like, hey, what up, bro? And I was like, hey, fuck off, you know, like,
Peacing out the new place.
but
Yeah,
yeah, he was
it's
like,
what- it,
sup?
it transfers itself to places where it like knows that I'm going to be staying for a while, or that like I'm going to be there for a while, which I got news. I got an apartment, and I really hope, I highly doubt it, but I really hope that it doesn't follow me there. It probably will, but
Yeah, let's
Bless
bless
the
him.
apartment.
Well,
Bless
that's
it, bless
just you
yourself.
need to set your
Baptism.
boundaries. You're not allowed
Jesus.
in.
Yeah,
and,
no,
you know,
I've
that's
I've
you
set
to
my
set
boundaries every single time. Whenever I'm getting like a heavy feeling, I always say it. Like I let everybody. I'm not religious. Again, I will point this out. I'm not religious, but I do know. Like, I'm not saying I believe. I know there is something above and below. I know for a fact with the experiences I have. Like, I know that there is some sort
Start going
of
to church. We're
thing.
gonna start going to
Yeah.
church.
I used to go to church.
Go.
Motherfucker
We
did not
gonna go
help.
now. We gonna go now.
Um,
Find you the priest.
But yeah, no, a lot of shit has happened in my life. And it's still happening. So, what am I gonna do?
What about you, honey? What about you, honey?
Oh yeah, I have
Oh
a
yeah,
ton.
your house. Tell him about your house.
So like I said, when we first moved out here from Chicago, I don't really know how old the house was, because again, I was super young when we first moved there. I just remember always, like, so I would always sleep in my parents' room. I would always sleep in my mom's bed until she finally kicked me out of her bed, and then I wound up making like a little bed on the floor next to her.
No, we didn't die. You didn't die. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
she's
chilling.
fine.
You're chilling. Hi,
Yeah.
Cloud.
Ye-
Hi, Cloud.
Yes, she doing.
Hi, Cloud.
Bye.
Your headset is blue.
Mason.
Oh,
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't come back.
you
Intermission.
crashed. Okay. Anyways, I'll keep
Intermission.
explaining until he comes back. But yeah, so essentially I was always scared of the upstairs. Now, not specifically the upstairs like as a whole, it was the hallway to my room and my room. So my house was built to have the upstairs, and it had, once you got upstairs, it had a room to the right, which was my older sister's room. A room to the left was the master room, which had my parents' room, of course, and like, you know, the master bathroom and, you know, bedroom and blah blah blah. And then down the hallway there was a balcony. You can look out into the living room, and then you turn to the right, so it went straight balcony, and then it was just another hallway down. And now that down that hallway was a bathroom, and then it split into like a V, and my room was on the right of the V, and on the left side was my middle sister's room. I
Damn,
was
I haven't been in
entirely
that house.
terrified. Huh?
I said I haven't been in that house or heard about that house in a while.
Yeah. So I don't really like talking about it just because it was
Yeah.
a lot of shit in there was just not okay. I was also very terrified of the basement, not only because it was a basement, but it just like didn't feel good down there. When I would kind of walk upstairs and look down that hallway, I wouldn't see anything per se, but it was just like a presence feeling almost of like just someone either peeking around the corner or they were just standing there just waiting for me. And this thing would just follow me throughout the entire house. And it was the most, like, it was the strongest whenever I would be down that hallway or in my room. So whenever I would go down that hallway, I just remember always running and turning the corner really quick just to run into my room. Now, I never felt safe in my room. I never liked being in my room. My room always had this feeling of just unsafety. And even when I were to sleep in my room, I would always sleepwalk to my parents' room. So whenever I would fall asleep, I would just wake up in their room. Like, it just wouldn't make sense. Because, like, I just couldn't stay in there. Even my body, even my self-conscious, like, asleep, I couldn't fucking stay in there. And I just walked to my parents' room, which, you know, I've never done that after the fact that when we moved out, you know, I've never done that. But I just remember always just not feeling safe down there. I would see things, you know, just, you know, not a good experience. And I remember very clearly one time when my mom was kicking me out of her bed because, like, my dad didn't like me sleeping in the bed. Because he would, like, turn over and try to cuddle my mom, and obviously it wasn't my mom, it was me, and he was like, what the fuck, you know? Yeah. But I just remember waking up in the middle of the night, and it was really dark, and I was just, like, laying down, and I look up ever so slightly, and at the foot of my bed, there was just this, like, really, like, tall, like, I would say, like, 7 foot tall, because my mom's bed was, like, she's got, like, little banisters almost that kind of, like, have the, like a top thing. It's like a whole thing. Like, it's
like
kind of a big
Victorian
bed frame.
bed.
It's a Victorian bed frame, yeah.
Yeah. So it's big. It was about as tall as that. And keep in mind, I'm small. I'm a child. I'm laying on the floor, you know, whatever. I, like,
tiny.
tilt my head up, and this thing was probably, like, 7 feet tall or something. And it had, like, a top hat. I just remember seeing that top hat. And it was just pitch dark.
Wait, you got
Hold on.
Top hat. Always the top hat.
Hold on. It's always a top
the
hat.
top hat.
Or it was a hat. You know, it just looked weird. And, you know, obviously the whole room is dark, but this thing was just, like, extra dark. It wasn't
Darker
like
than dark?
the darkness. It was just, like, a dark figure. And I was like, oh, hell no. And obviously, as a kid, you know, obviously going under the blankets, nothing can fucking hurt you because it's the fucking blankets. So I ripped that shit right above my head. I didn't just do that. I put it over my head, and I wound up getting up with the blanket on my head and, like, head diving into my mom. I was like, hell fucking no. So I wound up getting in bed with her and, like, falling asleep after that. But, like, that was, like, a super fucking core memory that I will never forget, that fucking hat guy, like, was there. But are you trying to say something?
I just want to add a fact that
She's probably about to say what I was going to say.
ironic you say that there. I learned recently that, or just like a little recently, everybody has been seeing this tall 7-foot man with a top hat.
With
Either
a top
he has
hat, yeah, it's the
wide
top hat
eyes,
man.
red eyes, or
I
no
heard
eyes.
that too.
Or no
And-
eyes, he's just a
but
shadow with a top hat.
it's been said that the guy in a top hat is some sort of entity that everyone is able to see because it is one thing that is following people or either like showing its presence to people, but it's not a person, it's not a man, it's not even like an entity at this point. It's like some sort of
It's like
sorry
a
to
force
say
of
this.
nature.
Some sort of demonic spirit, because it is forming itself from the same thing for every single person, every single haunted place, every single haunted house, haunted asylum. Always every single place like that has a 7-foot man in a top hat every single time. Wide eyes, red eyes, or no eyes.
Yeah.
Every single time. I don't know,
Yeah.
I forgot. They have it.
There's like a lore behind it.
The guy in a top hat, no matter depending on the place, always has a different name, but it's always the same figure every single time.
I
So-
think I know what you're talking about, and I know its biblical name. I will not say it though.
No, yeah, don't say it. Don't fucking say it.
Yeah,
like
do us all a favor and don't. Thank
Yep.
you.
Padre, el
No,
Hijo,
don't worry about
Espíritu
it.
Santo,
I'm
Amen.
not gonna say. Don't worry.
Wait,
I'm not gonna say.
that's actually in the Bible.
Yeah. No, it is a
There
thing.
are named demonic entities in the Bible.
Book of Sam.
like, and a lot of which have specific traits that make them do different things based on those traits. So
What's the
one might
book
one
called?
might be more of a trickster while the other might be more blatantly aggressive. And again, I'm not saying any names, not gonna name any of them, but yeah, no, there are some of these entities are described.
What the
fuck?
The fucking demons, bro! Holy shit!
Oh god!
When the demons include your
feel like I
track.
missed
That's so funny. That has not happened. But I looked. I started smelling something. And I looked to that corner, and that's when it happened.
I saw you.
To that
I saw you
fucking
look at the
corner.
corner.
Bro, you ascended,
my.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Alright, let's
Did you
move
see me
on.
look back to that corner? I
Yeah,
went,
yeah. Let's
Let's move
let's
on to the
not
next
put
topic.
Sky
Here.
in danger anymore.
But here, but here.
Is like,
So-
bitch.
So me and my mom used to watch Ghost Hunters with like Zach Bagans and
hell
whatever
yeah.
his
Oh.
team's name
Zach
is. I
Bagans.
forgot their names. And we used to watch that like probably every time it came out and whatnot. So there was this one time we were in the living room and it was about, I think, some Jewish camp or something like that. It was just super, super demonic, more like than anything he's been in, right? And the house just felt very heavy. I didn't feel like very safe in it after like in between watching it and like afterwards. I remember my sister being really scared. I remember me being really scared. And don't get me wrong, I watched this all the time with my mom. I never like felt this scared, but like I felt, not okay. And I just remember me and my sister were like telling my mom like the house didn't feel like, it felt very heavy after watching this. And my mom wound up lighting a candle and like she's like, okay, we'll see if anything's here. And she wound up lighting a candle in front of us. She's like, if anything's here, blow out the candle, whatever, just so we know you're here, blah blah blah. And the candle never went out, but obviously there is no air or like wind going on, but the flame was just always going like this. Like it was just moving real fast, but not like it didn't ever go out. So it was just like, I don't know, dude. It was just
like,
fucking
toying with
weird.
it.
And
Just toying with
yeah, it was just like I'm
Almost
here.
like
Almost
like an act of defiance. Like, you want me to blow it
Yeah.
out, so I'm not gonna blow it out, but I am here. Like kind of
Yeah,
let you know, like, yeah, I'm
right.
here. I'll move the flame, but I'm not putting it out just because you told me to.
Right. And that's kind of how I just like, it kind of confirmed in my head that there was always just something there regardless. So
I just
don't
want to say
know.
that shit freaked me out right in the middle when I was talking about the biblical stuff. I'm reading my
And
Bible
her
tonight.
shit hasn't done that through any of our episodes. Keep in
Yeah.
mind, her shit has never done that.
Yeah, I'm
So-
reading my Bible tonight.
Wait, I have a question
What's your question, too?
for Odin. I don't know if you know. Doesn't like knowing the name like have some sort of power over it? Is that? Am I remembering?
That's what
right?
I heard.
Yes.
You can if you name the name specifically and you say you rebuke them in the name of Jesus Christ, the knowledge of their name and then their knowledge of the fact that Christ and that Christ protects you, you have power over it. Nothing will be able to harm you so long as you have
It's the-
Christ to protect you. So that
Alright.
knowledge of its name is an extra level of protection.
What is the book called, Odin? What is the book of all of them? There's a book. It was written by some king. The book of, not Enoch. The
Some
book.
king?
It's the book of the. It's literally a book with all of their names in it. It's a book of all of their names with all their characteristics and what they even look like.
I don't
And it's
I
used
don't
in the,
I don't know
and I
about
want
a
to say it's a
king,
real thing,
but
but
I
it's used in the Conjuring series. That like the book is in the Conjuring series. They did the whole
okay.
Conjuring
I
series.
don't. Is it the book? Is it the book of the occult?
No, it's like the book of Samuel or the book of David, or it's like a book of something, and it has
you
all
mean
of
within
their...
the Bible? You mean within the Bible?
Yeah, and it has the book of all of the demons' names in it, and all their characteristics, and like how to be like what they do, and how they try to possession.
I don't
everything.
remember. If you want me, I have my Bible's right back here. I can grab it and look. But
But basically the whole concept is this one guy was like, I want to know how to get what I want, and so he basically studied demonology, and he sat there and he basically
The fact that you're
how to call
talking,
upon...
hold on. Sorry, but the fact that you haven't been, your mic has not fucked up every single once this entire episode, but the second that you start talking about this fucking book and you start to explain the book and what's in it and how it helps, your mic fucked up and muted everything unless you said something
it
else,
started
everything.
staticking. His mic has never fucking done that shit.
That's
And after
it
you
definitely
can keep
has
explaining,
before.
but
I
after
notice
this,
all the time.
while
It
we're
has.
ending
It
the
does it all the
thing,
time.
can you say a
We're gonna do
prayer
a
for
prayer.
us,
We're gonna do a prayer.
like after this?
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So
Just
it's
so
a book.
everyone's safe.
Yeah, just I'll keep it simple so my mic doesn't keep getting messed up. But it's a book. All the bunch of characteristics are in it, and it was written by a guy who studied about it using the Bible and different teachings and writings. It is a book that you can read, you can find, and a lot of occult people like to use it to call upon their favorite whatever, and to get whatever they want, right? And and you do a trade for trade. That's how it all works, and it's weird, it's crazy. Praise Jesus, I love him a lot. Oh man. Yeah.
My boy Jesus.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Like, I want to let you know, we pray pretty much almost every time we
Everyone.
eat food in this house. We're a very Christian household, and we're really happy about that. So, yeah.
Ski, what were you
What were
saying, by the
gonna
way?
say?
You were
Oh, yeah.
saying
Your dad with the scratchy back.
There we go. I fixed
Do you
it.
remember in
Down
that
with a
house?
scratchy back?
Your dad
in
with
that
the scratchy
house.
back.
I don't remember
dad-
this.
So, in that house, her mother one day.
Dumb demons, get out this bitch! Hell no! Praise the Lord!
Yes, Jesus, praise me, Jesus, Lord have mercy.
Get out
But-
this man! Oh, God damn it,
no.
them demons! Get out of this man and bring his hip back to the Jesus Christ
The
himself.
Lesser Key of Solomon. The Lesser Key of Solomon. That's what it's called. It's called the Lesser Key of Solomon. That's the name of the book. That's it. That's what it's called. There's a King
Go ahead,
Solomon.
Ski.
wrote a book about it.
you
Sorry,
did
go
it.
Go ahead, Ski.
But her mom was telling us this one time. She said it around the beginning of this year. I think it was after
Hello?
middle of this year. It was in the middle of this year. But she was talking about how in that house, there was one time her father was laying in bed and someone like grazed or scratched his back. Not like scratched like violently, like it was just like a scratching or like laid their hand on his back. He thought it was her, his wife, which is Cloud's mom, right? And he turns around and it wasn't her. Like there was nobody there. It wasn't her. Like she went on that side. There was no one on that side, and she and her mom was on her side. But the hand as if like so like this is the bed, right? Her mom is laying here. Her dad is here on his stomach, and he feels someone's hand on this side, scratching his back. I remember this story vividly because I remember that you were sleeping or something. I forgot what the fuck. You were somewhere. I don't remember, but she was talking about it, and we were just like, and that was one of the experiences that he had himself in that household, in that same house that everyone else felt uneasy in. And that was the first house I met you in.
That's crazy. What? What's the okay? Well,
I was gonna make a joke.
let's go. There's some more fun questions she wants to ask, and I wanna move on.
Let's ask fun, spooky questions.
Well, I mean, we're getting into that time, but as
We
a
can go
quick...
little longer if you want.
Yeah.
A little longer. This is good.
I am not editing a 2-hour episode. You got me fucked up.
It's an hour 16.
145.
It's an hour 16.
145. 145.
Brother,
Guys, I
145.
gotta go to bed.
God.
in,
You got 3
like,
weeks,
half an
sorry, you got
hour.
3
Yeah.
It's an hour 16.
Before,
Alright.
hold on.
We'll
Before
speedrun
we,
this one.
before we even think about asking a question or getting close to like ending the episode or whatever, I just want to say, after listening to all these fucking stories, I am so glad I haven't had an actual paranormal like
Toothe,
experience.
Toothe's right there with you right now.
Like, I'm so
Yeah,
glad we
he's
haven't
living with me,
experienced
so good luck,
anything.
sorry.
Imagine it
God.
starts.
Yeah.
Imagine it starts.
Sure, come to
Imagine
Jesus.
it starts for these two after this.
That would
after
be
this episode.
so
Imagine it
fucking
starts
funny.
for these two. No, it wouldn't be
He's gonna be
funny.
coming down over here a lot more often since I'm gonna have an apartment. He's gonna notice. He's gonna fucking feel
No
it.
I feel
boy.
like
Mhm.
I feel like if it's that, I don't know why, but I feel like I wouldn't be scared. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there. You'll be fine.
He
just shows
a
up
big
to
ass
the house
dude.
with
There's
a
just a
crossbow.
dude in the corner, like there's just a
She's like,
motherfucker like
"Dude."
up here, like,
No,
and Tooth's just
honestly,
in the corner,
I
like,
would-
Hey.
yeah,
No, Toothe just shows up
How's your
to
Tuesday?
this guy's apartment with
he's
a
over here like this.
crossbow.
He's like.
That's the,
And Toot just walks by. He's like, "Oh hi."
Hey, bud.
I probably, cause
He's like, "Hey, it was good, just
thinking
getting some
back
coffee, it's okay."
Back to what Cloud said, like, I feel like our words are very powerful. I think I'd be
That's what's up.
okay.
Yeah,
I
you'd be
yell at
alright.
it.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah, you'd be like,
Not in my
So-
house, not under my roof, mister.
No, Ramo. So speaking of like words having, power over like spirits or things out of this world or something like that. Do you guys think when talking to spirits or entities or people who have passed on, stuff like that, ghosts, do you think people, if we say to move on, they'll move on, or do you think they'll just be stuck there endlessly living through, whatever they're going through? Do you think we can help make spirits or whatever move on or, move past us and, go to where they need to go, whether it be hell, heaven, all the above? Do you think we can do that, or do you think they're just stuck?
I
mean, it's definitely a possibility that, at the end of the day, there is a chance that, you can help the spirits, like, move on in the afterlife, rather than, like, being stuck in the same place in time, just, like, watching over you. Like, I'm not sure how. There's probably, like, so many ways that you could do it, but there is 1000% a chance that you can help a spirit move on in some way, shape, or form. It just depends, like the difficulty of it just depends on, I guess, how they died, or maybe like depends on the nature of the spirit themselves, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's up to them. You certainly can help, but ultimately it's up to them. I think, again, going back to what Nicky said, it does depend on how they died and where they died. You notice a lot of places that are haunted, more often than not, tend to be places where awful things happened. Like those early 90s insane asylums. Those people were tortured and abused. There's
oh yeah, those are rough.
for someone to be trapped in this plane as a spirit, there has to be something keeping them attached here, something strong enough that happened to them that caused their death or that led to their death that ties them to a place. I feel like when it comes to our family members, like my grandmother, as I was saying earlier, my grandmother, grandfather, as I was saying earlier in the episode, I feel like they're free, sort of free to come and go, quote unquote, is the best way I can describe it. When they need to step in and just check in on somebody, they can, but that they can still go, they can make that choice and then go back, right? But
Yeah. They can come and go as
when
they
we're
please.
talking, right, as we're that's what I like to imagine, that's what I like to think about, but certainly I think people who die in an awful way, like from being tortured or abused in like those insane asylums or those 1800s prisons or stuff like that, or in a massacre, I feel like they're tied to that place because there's no closure, or there's a strong emotion of revenge or sorrow that's keeping them from moving on. And then how do you help someone like that? You know? So I think ultimately you can offer words of comfort, but it's up to them to decide to move on.
I'm with Odin. I don't have any explanation. That's what I would say.
I'm honestly like, Odin, I'm surprised you actually like kind of believe in the supernatural, because you're so like religious. I just feel like, just personally, I thought you just thought of everything as like demonic and stuff like that. And
I feel like that would give him more reason.
The demons.
To believe it.
Damn
demons.
No,
Yeah, I thought
no,
it
no,
was
no,
her.
not at all.
Yeah, I feel like that would give him more
like what Sky
reason.
said.
I would give him more
Yeah.
reason to believe it. 'Cause that's my grandparents believe it because of how fucking religious they are.
Well,
They're
like
like-
when I speak of like supernatural, I like, to me, I feel like he would be like, you know, that's kind of like, you know, hypocrisy, or like that's, you know, not, you can't talk about it.
Protestant bastard.
Yeah, like witch, you know, like
no, not at all. No, not at all. The opposite, actually. My faith is kind of what helped me to be able
Be more
to, I
open.
guess, discern good from evil. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can tell when a spirit's human and they're just sad and they're trapped. You know, you pick up
Mhm.
on that energy, you know. But then you can tell when something's malicious and non-human, right? Like you said, we're very good at picking up on that. So, you know,
Right.
if anything, I think the opposite. I think my faith has done the opposite and like helped me realize that these things are out there, but not all of it is categorized into bad, because not all of it is
Yeah.
bad. In fact, most of it is not bad. So, yeah. But I guess I can maybe see where you see that, but no, it's done the opposite for me and for most people that I know,
right.
where
Yeah,
they
let it
think
be
things are
known.
mostly things are
Can you
mostly
stop
good
fucking
and-
playing with your
The fuck are
titty
you
and
doing
answer
over
the
there,
question?
Arbit?
or maybe
I
not maybe
was
not
waiting for
mostly
him
good,
to
but where
finish.
things are
I have my answer. I was
Yeah.
waiting for him to finish because he was.
Yeah,
like,
she's
talking
been
about
like
stuff.
fidgeting with her like fingers. She's been like touching it.
Well,
Like,
no, it's because I've
Christ.
had my hand.
Yeah,
I've had
no.
my hand raised before Nikki. You picked Nikki, and then I was like, okay. When Nikki was
Oh,
done, I,
I
had my
didn't
hand
see
raised
your
again.
hand.
Yeah, I
I
was
just
like,
saw Nikki go like this,
either.
and I was like,
yeah, no, but
I went like this,
yeah, but
and I went
it's not just me.
every time you called on somebody else except me. I was like, whatever, whatever.
sorry, I
Yeah.
surely didn't see you.
Don't fall
Yeah,
asleep,
no.
Tooth.
No,
Don't
yeah,
fall
no,
asleep,
but
Tooth.
like
Remember, you have
it's
face
my
tracking. I can see when your eyes
there's
are
just one more
closed.
thing, just one more thing.
Oh,
It's
my
not
eyes aren't
just
closed.
it's not
I mean,
just
when I
me.
yawn,
It's
when I yawn, it looks
my
like it.
friends that are also, you know, Catholic or even, you know, Christian as well, you know, they all feel the same way. Whereas like before, if they were, you know, like okay, I have a friend, he wasn't religious and he thought he was superstitious though, and so he thought most of all of that was just evil. When he
Yeah, that's
found Christ
mhm.
and he came to the church, it flipped. He started being more in my boat, where he's like, okay, no, well, there are evil entities and angry spirits, but not all of it is bad. In fact, a lot of it is good, or just sad or sorrowful, you know. So
Right.
yeah, so
See,
I know
'cause
it's not just
what
me.
you just explained, what he thought, that's what I thought that you were. Like you just thought all spirits were, you know, negative and
Oh,
didn't
no.
mean
Oh,
any
definitely
good
not.
and, you know.
Yeah,
That-
no,
that-
let,
yeah.
let it be
From it.
known. His
But I'm glad
religion
we
made him a
cleared that up.
Ghostbuster.
Hell yeah. Ski, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say that like, I definitely. So it kind of has to do, from my perspective, it kind of has to do with like Hispanic culture. So like we have Day of the Dead, right? So Day of the Dead, you go
We
to
love Day
the
of the Dead.
grave, and you always have to put a picture on this day. You have to put a picture of the person, your loved one, or someone that you want remembered. Because if you don't
On
put
the
a picture
veranda.
up, yeah. if you
Yeah.
remember Coco, it's quite literally the same thing. So
Or the Book of
Literally.
Life. Or the Book,
the Book of Life. I've never watched that one, so that doesn't matter to me.
It's a really good movie.
Coco, though.
cool. For Coco, like if you he forgot to put a picture. His family has been forgetting to put a picture for many, many years, right? And the person of the family member, their soul starts disappearing because they are no longer remembered. Like that's kind of how it is. That's the one thing that I'm not scared of dying, but I am scared of like not being remembered anymore. Like if my family doesn't put a picture up of me like for years, I'm being forgotten. That's like my number one like thing after death, like because I know that I will go on, but the thing after death, and if I know I'm still like going on and I see my family members and every year I'm seeing them not put a picture up, like that's just frightening. But
I agree with you, but not like with the Day of the Dead. I love remembering people like during special events like that. I think like when we get married, I definitely want to do in like when the reception's going on, I want to have specific chairs reserved for the people that have passed on.
Yeah,
you know, just
no,
like to
I
remember, like for his grandpa, for my
Yeah.
grandparents, you know, just the people that we love, just to remember them and say like, hey, like I know you've moved on, you know, but you're still welcome to
part
take
of
a
my
seat and
ceremony.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
no, I literally want to
continue.
do the same thing. No, 1000%. But the gist of what I'm trying to say is that like stuff like that, like for people who are stuck spirit wise, like still stuck here, it is said that like once they die, their spirit, the last few memories of what they remember last, they're stuck in that time loop. And if that's, I think that if like someone in their family doesn't like have some type of memory of them, like in an object, a picture or something, like they're stuck there and they're no longer being able to move on, no matter how like yeah, you can help them, but like if you're not very open with like your, the simple way to put it is like your third eye, like if you're not very open, there's not much you can do. Like it genuinely, like yeah, you can talk to them, the spirit can talk to you, no matter if you're in tune with yourself or in tune with like that type of stuff or anything. But like if you genuinely don't actually believe in it and you're just seeing it because you're experiencing it right then and there, like you can't really do much. And also I agree with them with like it depends if you're like a malicious intense spirit, if you've died a certain way, like stuff like that. But like for the simple spirits that have passed in a melodramatic or very like a natural way, or even were murdered or something, like sometimes they're just stuck in that loop and they can't get out, because no matter how many times that you're like, hey, there is a light, you can see the light, like, and they're communicating with you that they see that light, their brain is still going in this time loop that they're gonna be stuck in it, and sometimes it's really hard to get out of that.
Right.
So it's like sometimes you can't really help them and sometimes you can, because they are willing to be open with it. But some spirits don't want to believe, or just can't believe that someone is there trying to help you, and they're just hesitant on like going towards this light because they trusted someone at one point and that's how they got murdered. So they don't, sometimes they just rather be stuck in that loop than be helped and trust somebody else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
what about
how
you,
I see
Toothe?
it.
What do you think?
So the question was, do I believe people can be helped to move on, right? That's kind of the gist of it.
Right.
was.
Do you think we can help people like move on, or entities or stuff like that? Do you think our words can help them move on, or do you think they're just going to be stuck no matter what, essentially?
Well, I guess I'd like to hope so. You know, like back to what Odin was saying, how most of it is good. You know, there is a lot of bad, but most of it is good. So I don't know, but like, I hope so. My boy Jesus got me. I hope
My boy
so.
Jesus back, my God, Jesus.
He's really fighting anything and being attached to him. He's like, God,
He's like,
I believe in
He
you
said,
right
I
now.
am not a part of this. I claim no energy.
Dude,
But-
I know it's probably bad, but I can't wait for you to live with me. I want to see.
Hey, having somebody else there with you is nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice having her around. It's nice not living by myself anymore. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, having
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
other than the voices live with you.
Is it
That
bad
thing
that
ain't
I
a voice.
kind of?
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little fucking creepy when
To
Go
the
ahead.
thing that's with me?
I feel like it would solidify what I always thought was like I was skeptic about. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Jesus.
You just
Christ.
became the demon. You see her, she like.
She said.
She said.
He waved at
She
me.
said. She said. She said. She said. What up?
He said, "What's up, bro? We'll see each other soon."
He said, I can't wait.
Say,
I can't
hey,
wait to meet
move
you,
in next month,
Colote."
man.
Like I
But
would.
continue what you're saying.
I would just like to experience something like that, even if it's scary. I feel like it's
You're choosing
It
the
make-
wrong
it
person
would-
to have your first experience with.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm trying to
make
say,
sure you
though?
pour a
Like,
cup of coffee for the ghosts.
Yeah.
He
So-
wants
so,
to
well,
experience
you know what?
something. Is what
You
he
know
says.
what?
Well,
He
you know
wants
what I'm
to-
saying
Caleb,
is I'm
Caleb.
agnostic. I need proof
Yeah.
that there is.
No, I
I
hear
want
you.
proof.
He
is what
using
I'm
the
saying.
government
So
name,
you know
crazy.
what? You know what? I have a question for you then, honey. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
not yet. I didn't get to answer yet. You always do this to
Never
me,
mind.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
just excited. Why, bro? I'm sorry.
I'm the host. Remember, I am the host.
Wow,
I'm the one who wears
bro.
the badge of honor right now. Anyways, sit down.
She has the
Bash.
talking stick.
He likes to just continue stuff without me answering, because clearly I don't care.
Oh. Okay.
I got
Um,
yelled at.
Whatever. Maybe stop trying to skip
And
me,
now he's a
idiot.
Ken doll.
But what were you gonna say?
Anyways, I think
What do you think?
our words mean a lot to, or I should say, have power over the spirits, the
spooky
demons and
eyes.
stuff like that. I think definitely setting boundaries, with entities and stuff like that. I also think we are able to help, them figure out where they need to go, whether it be hell or heaven. And then I think there is some entities that might take a longer time to move on. I don't feel like it's just as easy as you going up and being like, yeah, you can move on. I think, there might be some really deep core trauma that person or something has dealt with that needs a little bit of time and work to move on and
Yeah.
do whatever. But
Just goes up to the spirits like, hey man, it's not your time of the month anymore. You're okay. Go take a breather.
Yeah, well,
Jesus
because
Christ.
sometimes demonic spirits trap these spirits. These demonic
That's true.
entities,
There's
they do
always
trap
there's
'em.
always a bigger spirit. There at times there is. I
Yeah.
definitely do think there is sometimes where some spirits are fear moving on and stuff like that because there is maybe something that's holding them there that doesn't want to let go of that energy, So
Yeah.
but moving on from this topic, our last topic that we're gonna get to before we wrap up. I know we've all talked about ghosts and our experiences. Some are believers, some are not. Some are skeptics. My question to you guys is would you guys want to go ghost hunting sometime as an instance group,
Ooh,
going to a haunted place and having our own investigation and whatnot? Go ahead.
I've always okay. I know with the amount of experience and the amount of shit that happened in my life and shit like that, and my so-called buddy that follows me.
Buddy.
I still for probably some fucked up thing in my head that I still want to go to some sort of haunted house because it is known that if a person that is very in tune with themselves or very has that big of an energy around them, that other spirits follow them because of said energy, they go to these haunted houses or these haunted places and stuff like actual haunted places like asylums, hospitals, or whatever it may be. It attracts in a lot more activity, and something in me just I want to test my energy in it. So I would so willing to go with it because I would be so sick if it actually happened.
I really want, and I've talked about this with Nikki before. I really want to do a ghost hunting tour, and I think I talked to you about it too when you came to Florida for the second time. But I really want to take everybody to St. Augustine, and we can do the ghost tours, because they have St. Augustine. If you're not aware, for those who are uneducated, St. Augustine is the first and oldest city in all of America. It was built in like 1561, and like a lot of the original buildings are still there. Like these buildings are like, they're centuries old. These buildings are fucking old as shit, and you can still go around. You can still explore them. There are ghost sightings all over the place. So they do regular ghost tours. They have one of the oldest lighthouses in America there that is very haunted. They have the Castillo de San Marcos, which is obviously the castle of Marcos, and that is a castle. It's like a fort that the Spanish used to defend against the British when they tried to invade. And the river itself, matter of fact, the river itself, and this is a story that they tell in like American history, world history, the river that sits along, that St. Augustine sits along, because there's like this little river, but it's the, you know, it's the ocean comes through, and it turns into like a little, there's like a little river there that the city sits along. It's like the intercoastal area. When the Spanish first came here, it's called the Red River, the day the river, whatever the story is. But the Spanish basically lined up all the Indians that they had found when they first came here, and they were like, "Yo," they gave them two questions. They said, "You believe in Christ?" And if they said yes, or if they said no, they cut their throat and bled them into the river. And if they said yes, they said, "Cool, well then Jesus is gonna accept you into his kingdom." And then they cut their throat anyway. It was a really bad day. It was a really, 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 really tragic thing that happened. But then on that very same site, the Spanish set up St. Augustine right there, the Castillo de San Marcos, the lighthouse, all the original streets and cities. It is a very, very, probably one of the most haunted places in Florida, and I would love to go ghost hunting there. I would love to go with you guys on a big trip, and we go and do ghost hunting at night. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
What
about you, Nikki?
What, Battle?
As much as I love St. Augustine, that's probably the only example of like a ghost tour that I would be open to.
Yeah, to doing, because
well, joke's on you. You have no choice. You're doing it with all of us.
Welcome to another episode of Scare Nikki. You're gonna scare him right now.
Anyway, as I was saying before, really interrupted by those things. So as much as I love, going to St. Augustine and going to the fort and everything, I have 3 words. I'm a pussy. That's it. Anyway, Odin.
Yeah, right here.
No, you said the same thing. He said the same thing in what was the? Oh my god, the first episode, the second episode. He said the same thing. We were talking about scary. Sorry. Go ahead, Odin. That was funny as shit.
Go ahead, Odin.
My answer is pretty simple, and I don't know. It depends on the history of the place and what it's known to be haunted for. Because like Sky said, she's pretty in tune to it, as in she has this energy around her. I'm very aware of it. I can barely, I can watch ghost hunting videos and ghost investigation videos, but I feel as if I am there with them. So actually going and being there, especially being as
close
as much of a well, my religion plays into it, but I trying to being as much of a believer as I am in the paranormal, in which stacks with my faith as well. I wouldn't want to enter a building that is known for having demonic entities. Even knowing that I'm protected, Jesus protects me, and I'm safe like that, Christ is watching over me.
It's just not
me.
Yeah.
It's just not something I like to mess with, because it is evil incarnate. I'm not gonna walk into a building that's known to house evil incarnate.
So if there was just like sightings of like shadow figures, but nothing super demonic, you would.
If it was nothing super malicious, and it was just like, something was like, oh, these spirits are trapped here because something tragic happened. Yeah,
Or
I
St.
think I
Augustine.
might do it, but
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not walking to a building that's known to be super malicious or
Yeah, I wouldn't do that
you
either. I
know,
wouldn't put
or
anyone
has
in
or is
danger
known
like
to
that,
have some
but-
sort of demonic entity. I wouldn't do that.
The Winchester House.
Church of the Conjuring. I'm kidding. Kidding.
Oh
Um,
God.
Toothe, what about
oh,
you?
God.
Yeah, I have one condition. If you let go of my hand, I will kill you. That's on my condition.
He goes, I
Best
will make you one of the
condition ever.
spirits here. He goes, I will
That's
make you
it.
one of the spirits there. Okay, I will
Yeah.
not let go of your hand.
You let go of
Nick
my
is the
hand, you
s-
join them, okay?
He's the skeptic. He's the skeptic of the group. He's the skeptic of the
Skeptic.
group. He's.
He said
I'm
you'll
the-
be the
I'm-
1,000th
I'm-
Haunted at the
though.
Haunted Mansion.
Oh, is it?
I'm very much down to doing it. Obviously, I think I really like the creepy kind of stuff. I like hearing people's stories out in the history that people went through. Maybe
Let me-
even like contacting spirit. I don't do fucking Ouija boards or anything like that.
No,
But I
fuck
think
that.
the fucking spirit box and like just different ways of contacting
We'll
the
get some
dead
ghost
or
hunting equipment. Mhm.
Yeah, I think that would be super, super cool and something I'd like to do. Obviously, I'd be scared shitless. I'd probably piss my pants, but like, I'm so
yeah,
down to do
listen,
it.
man.
subscribe will
I
do
think
it.
we gotta
If you
save your
subscribe right now.
pants. I don't want a
Yeah.
Waluigi board.
Let me
What?
live in my apartment for a few months, and we could do a spirit box in there and see if whatever.
Oh,
it is.
fuck that.
Oh,
One
Jesus.
thing I
Hell
find
no.
interesting
Good
is
idea.
I think it's called the Estes method.
Yeah.
Yes,
the one where you
yes,
put
I
the
wanna do
headphones
that.
on.
Yeah,
I love
That's
that.
the one-
Yeah, I
uh-huh.
wanna do that.
Have
Yeah.
me go under. I want to see. I want to see.
yeah, she would
if-
probably be
if
the
we
best one to
both
put
went
into the
under-
headphones because she's
No,
very,
if we both went under, because I can sense
You
shit
know.
just like you. I may not see it, but like us
You
talking
know.
back to one another, that'd be fucking cool.
You and I together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that happens when you and I are together. Well, not gonna lie.
I know.
It.
Because
So,
we're bad.
I wanna do it so
maybe
bad.
we put Sky,
Yeah.
maybe we put Sky in the headphones and then have Cloud ask the questions.
Yeah, exactly. And then Cloud can sit
No,
here
it'd be
like
both of
Colby.
us.
Hey, she can sit here like Colby going. So how long have you been here? And then she just says like 5 decades. Oh my god. This is so like, and then we loop back.
No, I think it would be very cool if me and Sky were both under the Estes
wanna ask
method,
questions.
because it would be like us talking back to one another. I've seen Sam and Colby. do the
Her
same
and
thing,
I are
it was
quite
pretty cool.
connected, even before like the fact that like.
I wonder if we
got
held
connected to
hands.
each other. You're reading my mind. I was literally about to say that you and I are quite connected. That like if we held
But-
hands, it's like
but-
an electric force with each other.
Right. That's definitely something I'd like to try.
like
and
all you
obviously
see is
if
them
this
both get shocked,
continues
like,
to- Yeah, if this becomes super successful in the ways we want it, I really hope that's a possibility
If
for
you
us to try in
subscribe,
one time.
guys, we'll do it.
But wrapping this all up, I want Odin to say a prayer
Let's do
before
a
we
prayer.
end
Here,
everything.
here.
So
Everybody hold hands. Everybody hold your hands.
All right.
Like this.
Do I
Right.
gotta?
Yes, you
Hold my
got
hand.
Yes,
protect yourself
motherfucker,
from the
hold
demons.
hands.
Stupid ass.
You know
I
what?
dare
No, I'll
reach.
let my fucking spirit come to you. How about that?
Oh,
Fucking hold my
oh.
hand.
I can't.
hell
I,
no,
I
I'm not
physically
about
can't
that.
reach. This is where my desk hits.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's do it. Here you go. Close
So-
your eyes.
I'm gonna say an intercession prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel. Okay. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander through the world for the ruin of souls. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm feeling real
Amen.
powerful right now on God.
I
I'm feeling real fucking. I'm
Can
feeling.
you do that for my ranked Valorant matches? I could really need some St. Michael.
Yeah, dude. Dude will be up in those matches. He's gonna go, dear Lord, bear witness to your creation, the human spirit.
that was
gonna
really
fucking-
beautiful, by the way.
That was awesome.
It's just an actual intercession.
Yeah, it's a real
prayer.
prayer.
It's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
a
if
known
people
thing.
don't
That's
believe
really
that
nice.
he's so fucking religious, he actually is very religious.
But anyways, guys, we're almost hitting 2 hours, and I'd rather not edit a 2-hour thing because I don't have the mental capacity for that shit. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all the shebang. join us on our Discord server, and we also have a link tree if you want to go see all of our shit. But yeah, see you guys next week on another episode.
Christmas episode.
Bye. Stay safe. Don't let the ghost of goose get you in the butt.
What?
Okay.